So here's where I left you with trying to get started. And I suggested that you figure out how to read each line of the input file and build a lookup table. And then we're going to use that lookup table when we process each of the letters. So we've seen before, for instance, in the crow's nest, how we could get the first letter. And I'll call it char, for instance. And I know that char is line 0. That's the first character in that line. And I want to make sure that this character is uppercase. So I'm just thinking about maybe reading a file where the letters are for some reason in lowercase. So just to be sure, I might force this to uppercase. And I want to be able to say that the lookup for this character is equal to the line. Now there's something about though that line, it was something that we saw when we were printing it, is that line still has the new line stuck to the end. And so later when I'm going to go print that line, I'm going to have to take care of it. So I either need to get rid of the new line now, or when I print it later, I'm going to have to say end equals to the empty string. I'd rather just take care of that now. And so I can say line.rstrip to get rid of the space off the right-hand side. So that's going to build a lookup table. I'd like to look at it. That's just something that's something I've always done, is basically just print. As I'm writing a program, I just go to print data structures and look at them, print the value of a variable just to make sure it is what I think it is. And if I want to show you that if I print this, it's going to be a bit of a mess, but let's look at it. I'm going to run this, and that's what I get. It works. I can see if I look here and then carefully scan to the end, I can see that, okay, there's curly braces. This is clearly a dictionary. I can see the pairs, but it's really quite difficult to see. So I'd like to show you about the pprint module that we can use to pretty print this data. It makes it much easier to debug your programs. Up here, I'm going to say from pprint, which is the name of a module. I'm going to import the pprint function. I could even import it as like pp to shorten it if I want. So that is a way to import just one function. I'm just importing the pprint function from the pprint module. I could just say import pprint, in which case I would say pprint.pprint. But here I just want to import the one function, so that I can change this print to pprint. And then let's look at the difference in the output. That's actually pretty pleasing. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but to me, when I see that, I just kind of go, ah, that's nice. I can see what the data structure is. I can easily see how these keys line up, and I can see what the values are. And so that's a really useful thing when you are debugging a program, is to know about how to pretty print a data structure. So we now have a lookup table that we can use to look up the letters. So I can just comment this out for now. And we'll come back later and we can clean up a couple other things. But for right now, what we want to do is we want to say if the letter is in the lookup, then we want to print not the letter, but the lookup for that letter. Let's make sure that works. Let's see. So this did not work. It did not print anything because we have A and B. And if we go back and look, the keys are uppercase A and uppercase B. So we already handled that up here. We were already worried about worrying with upper and lowercase. So we just forced the characters to uppercase. Here we need to do the same thing. We need to say if letter.upper is, in lookup, then print letter.upper. Lookup for letter.upper. Now let's make sure that this runs. Is if letter in. Sorry, got a little carried away there. Great. So for A, it prints A is for Alfred, poisoned to death. For B, it prints B is for Bertrand, consumed by meth. That's great. What happens if I give it 7? It still prints A and B, but it doesn't print anything for 7, and that's not what we want. We want it to say else print we're going to make this an F string. I don't know, and then I think it's supposed to be in quotes, but let me just write it and then see. Let's see if that's what it's supposed to print. I do not know. I do not know. I do not know letter. And is that supposed to be in quotes? Yes. Let's run this. I do not know 7. That looks pretty good. I think that this program should probably pass the test suite. Let's check. Yes, that program passes. In the next video, I'm going to talk about a couple things that we could change to shorten this program.